Well, Alan, Alfreton away on Saturday, and we'll be looking for a repeat performance to the one that we showed on Tuesday night at Guiseley.
Yeah, most definitely. I think I was pleased with the reaction, obviously, on Tuesday night, and I think the lads were pleased with themselves with it. So we've got to replicate that, and that's one thing that we need to improve on is our consistency. We know that the cup obviously has its distractions. I think you can see that, and it does affect you, even when you're trying not to let it affect you. It obviously has affected the lads, but overall, when you look at it, it was a great performance on Tuesday night. You can only beat what's in front of you. Yes, they had 3 weeks off, or a little bit rusty, but we had some tired legs in there. Lads just come back from injury. That was the first 90 minutes and stuff. So I was really pleased overall with the lads that I put in there.
Yeah. You mentioned injuries there. You had to reshuffle twice in the game, didn't you? Once early on when Michael Hill went down after about 15 minutes, and then again Omar Holness at the start of the second half. So that was 2 of your substitutes used. So your options were very limited after that, weren't they? And it brings again this debate about the use of substitutes. I mean, you could possibly argue you could have done with more subs available on Tuesday night.
Yeah. It's obviously the 5 substitute things being talked about heavily, and they're doing it in the EFL now, and I'm sure they'll be in the Premier League. And if we're classed as elite, do we fit into that bracket as well? That's a big thing for me. But we need to use them relatively early, and I think even Guiseley had to use them early as well because of they haven't got 2 hamstrings. We got a hamstring, we got a pulled thigh. So, and I think what people forget is our lads outwork all day as well, and they're on their feet. A lot of them are on their feet all day. So it is tough for them. You didn't want to take away the spectator of the sport because it might take a little bit away, but if you keep it to the 3 windows like they did in the lockdown, then it might work. It might work in the favour because there was a time where there was a lot of tired legs there on Tuesday night. I could have done with bringing Will off. I could have done with bringing Cams off to see it through. So that's where it would benefit massively, but it might not benefit other clubs. But other clubs might not want to have that many people on the bench because financially it might cost them too much money. So there's swings and roundabouts for clubs, but for me at this moment in time, when we've got this many games, I think will be a big positive for us.
Yeah, when you look at the Premiership, they're starting to possibly think about going to 5 subs. You've played at that level in the top league. It's an all-out. You need to be fully fit type of league, isn't it? You need to be 99.99% fit all the time in that league, and you can't afford to pick up a little nickel, can you? And when you multiply that by 16 players in a match day squad, it can take a lot of people out of the squad if they're injured, can't it?
Oh, it does massively. And I look at it and I think in the Premier League, like you say, the intensity is probably a little bit more. You don't get kicked as much, put it that way. You don't get the knocks as much, but it's just muscles and strains and that you can see that comes into it massively because it's that intense up there and that quick that they will pull a lot of muscles. So it is different up there. Believe me, it is a lot different. But down here, you've got the knocks that come into it. I think we had a few knocks on Tuesday night where some will probably not train tonight because of them. And having the fresh legs to probably, when they've had the knock, to take them off is a big thing to have. But because I used the subs too early because of injuries, I couldn't really do that. So I think it would help at this moment in time because of what's going on and where we are with this pandemic and everyone not being fully fit, so forth. And it's the strange pre-season, not being fully match fit, and then cramming so many games into a schedule. Like the Premier League lads have been playing international football as well as the Premier League games. So again, you can understand where the argument's coming from, but we've got to remember that we don't want to spoil it and make too many stops in the game. Like I say, it's got to stay within that window, the 3-stop window, to make sure allow that to happen and not interrupt the game so much. Because last thing you want is someone putting on 5 subs in the last 5 minutes of every minute to see a game through, because that's just spoiling the whole game. So it needs to be done properly. But I think it would help to the end of this season, at least until we get back to some kind of normality.
There was some sort of rule suggested, wasn't there, that a manager couldn't put a sub on with less than 10 minutes left, I believe. Just to, like you mentioned there, it's possible time wasting, isn't it? If you do one or two or three or four in the last 5 minutes. But there's got to be a spirit adhered to, hasn't there, for this?
Yeah, there'll be gamesmanship going on if it's allowed. But I'm sure the people, or I would hope that people looking at this will definitely take that into account to stop it being basically utilised wrongly, so to speak. But it should be used in a proper way.
But as you say as well, though, there's a huge number of games still to play, not just by us. I mean, Guiseley, that was only their fourth league game the other night. That was our fifth. And I've just been scribbling down, we could have another 42 games, Alan, 37 in the league, plus one minimum FA trophy, one minimum FA Cup. And if we don't win the league, then we'll have the 3 playoff matches. So there's 42. It's going to stretch the squad. It's going to stretch the legs. There's going to be all sorts of injuries. It's going to impact on your team selection.
Definitely, it's going to be a strange season, really. Like I said, and that's why you're going to see a lot of strange results. Like Tuesday night, there was a lot of strange results when you look back at it, and that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, these are the times we're living in at this moment in time, and we've just got to try and deal with it the best we can and manage it the best we can. And I think fans have probably got to understand that these lads, they're going to get these niggles because, as I say, they're working as well. And that's a big thing with these lads, are working as well. And playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. I think some will end up playing Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, not before too long, to be honest with you. And that's tough. Darlington obviously done it a few years back, and it is extremely tough. But as I say, I think if you've got them subs, I think that could help you manage it a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, Alfreton away on Saturday. It could be a strange one, couldn't it? It's Alfreton. They lost 4-3 in midweek after being 3-0 up, and so we're going to have to be guarding against a reaction there. But on the other hand, we're doing well away from home.
Yeah, we're doing smashing away from home, but believe me, we'll get a reaction from them. I'm sure Billy would have ripped the wallpaper off in that dressing room. The paints would have been coming off the walls without a doubt after that. And I don't blame him, because you're losing a 3-0 lead from half time. It shouldn't really happen. We've lost a 1 or 2-0 before, and it's not nice in that dressing room after the game, and you expect a reaction after that. And they're not a bad side. I've looked at them, they're big, they're physical. They are what they are, Billy's teams. They miss the midfield out a lot. They go from back to front quickly and get the runners in. They'll be physical in both boxes, and we need to match that. We need to do what we've done on Tuesday night. Can't have any of this powder puff defending. It's got to be nice and aggressive on the front foot and picking up the second balls like we've done on Tuesday. So the lads know the standards, and it's like I was really disappointed in the defending aspect against Telford, but when I look at the big picture, some of the football was great in the first half, and we should have capitalised on that. It should have been 3 or 4 by half time, and the game should have been gone. But how many times did I say it last year? And this year, hopefully now we've got the firepower, we're getting them fit, getting them firing, and that'll stop that kind of thing happening. Stop putting the pressure on the lads at the back to keep a clean sheet. If the lads are scoring, it'll stop putting pressure on the lads all over the place. So it'll help. And if the lads keep a clean sheet, it puts less pressure on the lads at the front to take that one chance to get. So I think it works both ways. It kind of just blame one group of lads. It's a team effort at the end of the day, myself included and the staff included. We were all disappointed, extremely disappointed by the Telford game. But I think games come thick and fast. And as I said, I want to have a nice little run before we come into the cup game.